All right, so we're in InDesign, and I'm going to go and grab a document, an old document. So there's a chance that there are error. In fact, it says there are 10 links that are missing.
Rika, you have to share screen first.
Oops, sorry. Yep. Thank you, Sarah. Sorry. So I'm opening a document, so you haven't missed anything yet. In fact, what you missed is that the document is something that is sitting there, so it's probably old, and it might have mistakes. That is totally fine, as what I want to show you, right? I did it on purpose. So that's where I find out that I have mistakes. You guys down here, do you see that says error? Do you guys see that? Does everybody see a big red dot that says one error there?
Yes.
Awesome. Thank you. Sorry, I want to make sure because I do forget to share screen. So you go in this thing called Preflight Panel right there, and you open it up, and it's telling me that there's one missing link, and it's Jaron Lanier. I actually know why. And it tells you even where, on which page. I can click on that, and I can see that that image is, I need to re-find it, is an internet. It's something I found on the internet. So obviously what I can do is go and relink it. How do I relink it? I go under window links, or is already open. Yep, I can see it. And in the links, window links is where you find the links, but if it has the check next to it, means it's open. So I'm going to go in here and look, and you can see it's telling me is broken, is not working, right? That is great because it tells me what I need to know. And I can see all the other ones are nice and clean. Oh, there's a logo Unicam is broken too. And the reason why it's not probably showing it here that is broken is because it's actually on a invisible layer. It means that logo of Unicam, that is, by the way, the PhD university that I'm attending, is probably something I don't want to show in this document. So I brought it in, but then I kind of said, okay, I'm going to put it on a layer. I'm going to turn it invisible. And that's why it's not showing it as a problem, because it's invisible anyway. But the stuff that I'm supposed to see, like this image right here, this page has all these faces, as you can see. And one of those faces down here is broken, is a broken link. So what you do is you would want to, go in Jaron Lanier, oops, right here, and you would want to go and relink it, relink, right? And you have to obviously first find it. You can say edit. If it was, not broken, it would allow you to edit it. Obviously, that's why it says other. But you basically have to first find it, and then you can relink it. In my case, I don't have it. Another thing you can do is, by the way, you can go through here, or you can go down here. You see that right here says relink. So now I don't have that image right now because it's a quick demo that I'm doing. So one way to fix that is, let's say I'm not going to put this image in there. I'm going to delete it. And now you'll see that it says no errors. You guys see that? That's what you want to see before you package your document. So remember that the thing you need to do is, I'm going to undo the broken link that is there. So you want to open your document, go down here. If it says that there is any error, hit this little arrow, choose Preflight Panel. It will tell you that what is the error. It could be a broken font or whatever, but broken link here. And here you click on the page, and it takes you to the page where that problem is. And it even in the link shows you that is the problem. So there, what you do is you go and find that image, place it in your desktop, for example, or anywhere you want, and then click on this to relink it, or go up here and choose relink. Once you relinked it, and in my case, I'm going to delete it because I don't want to take the time to go hunt for that image. Once you relink it, you should see no errors. When you see no errors, that's the green light. That means you can package your document. So you go under File, Package, right here. And here it gives me a summary, right? It says, okay, there is this many fonts, this many links. It just tells you everything. And here there's this warning. That doesn't mean that there's a mistake. It's just giving you a warning. Why is there a warning? Because you remember I told you there are certain links that are actually in invisible layers that are missing. And that's what you see right here. But because I know they're an invisible layer and don't matter, and that's why here it says no errors, life is good. But that's why you have that warning, because it's telling me, hey, look, ideally, you don't want any broken link, and you do have some in there. They're just invisible in the document, so it's not the end of the world, and that's why I say no errors right here. But anyway, this is just a summary. You most of the time ignore it, and you hit package. And it'll tell you will always tell you need to save the publication. So I'm going to say save right here. And then it creates for you this folder. My document is called Enrica Costello Dissertation, April 28th. That is when I created it, for example. It generally calls it exactly with the same name of your document, but it attaches at the end something that says folder. You guys see that, folder. And it's telling me here that it's going to copy the fonts in this folder, copy all the linked graphic, and update anything that needs to be updated in the package. I'm going to say package. Now you could include a PDF for print in there too by checking this. Up to you if you want it or not. If you know this goes to print, it would make sense. Honestly, this is an online presentation, so it doesn't. But I'm going to hit package right here. And this comes up all the time and it tells you, listen, I'm copying these fonts to this folder. But in the minute which you give the folder to someone else, means you're giving away fonts that maybe they need to be purchased. And InDesign is out of this problem. That means it's basically cleaning their hands from any troubles that can come from them copying these fonts inside this folder, and then you could give that folder away, and that could be a problem. It's basically covering its butt. That is fine. Sorry for the word, but hopefully it does not hurt you too much. So here we are. So now I have my folder done. I did not pay attention where I did it. Sorry, I'm going to find out in a minute. I think I probably did it in my dissertation stuff. Sorry. No, it's inside document, isn't it? Yeah, it's inside document, cancel, sorry. So now I'm going to go into document and retrieve that folder. And then I need to zip it. So let me go in document. So I did not pay attention where I saved it. I should have, but right here. So Enrica is right here, so it's no big deal. Even I did not pay attention. It put it in the right spot. So I'm going to put it in here. Now you go on there, you control click and say zip it, compress it. Sorry, where is it? Compress it is up here. I apologize. And that's what you turn into InDesign. Right? So you turn this. Now separately, I don't want you to have it inside this folder. You also want to create a PDF of it so that I can see your spread, right? So what you would do is imagine that my spread is this page. Now, you know, in this document, there are actually a lot of pages, not one. Let me see how many. Oops, sorry. Where are we? Sorry. See, there are like what? 44 pages in this presentation. Wow. But let's imagine that this is the one I want. Actually, you have just one right there, right? So let's say, and this is for me is page 41. I want to make a PDF out of this, right? So I can do file export. I'm going to put the PDF as a separate object. I said not inside that folder. And you can say for print, or you can say interactive. In this case, it's for print because it's an editorial, right? Your project is an editorial. And you want to say for print, I'm going to this time put it on the desktop. And it's fine. I'm going to call it PR Enrica Costello VR for Good storytelling. And it's for print. Life is Good is on the desktop. I'm going to say save. Here, this shows up. The most important part here is that you check spreads. Because if you don't check spreads, they come up as individual pages. That is a mess. I don't want you to do that, please, because then I cannot see the entire spread. I can see only, you know, one side. Now here, you want, in my case, remember I have 41. I only want to select one page. So that's why I say my range is from 41 to 41. In your case, when you're in your InDesign, since you probably have just one spread there, it doesn't matter. But if you ever want to isolate one, that's what you have to do. Go in range and specify that you want to go from 41 to 41. So you have only one spread that you want to make into a PDF. I oftentimes use this PDF 1A because it's kind of the most common denominator for printers. But in this case, either way, whatever you choose works. Let's choose this one. As I said, is the most common denominator for printers, means is the format the printers understand the best. And then you obviously hit export. And it's telling me that there's some problem with the CMYK. That's fine. That means I'm probably using RGB instead of CMYK, but I do stuff like that because RGB has a much larger color spectrum. So a lot of these images are probably RGB, but the overall is CMYK. So it's detecting a conflict. I don't think you're going to have that problem, but if you do, just say fine. So now I have that folder that I need to turn into Enrica, and somewhere I need to find the PDF. Right here, I have the PDF. Perfect. So as you can see now, these two pieces, the PDF and the zipped InDesign folder are what I turn into the assignment tomorrow for project 2. Is that clear to everyone? So the steps are go in InDesign and make sure that it says no error down here. First step. As I said, if it says error, go under Preflight Panel. It will bring up a window that tells you where the error is, find out what it is, fix it. Once you got that green light, go and say File Package, that is somewhere right here, right there, and make sure that it will create a folder for you, and make sure you zip that folder. That's done. The InDesign part, you know, the InDesign document is all in that folder. Now I need to also create a PDF that Enrica can see and bring into Miro. And I'm going to go and say File Export. And at this point, I can just, you know, do the PDF process. And now once I have the PDF and the zip folder, I can turn it in. One extra step you could do is go and check how big is the PDF. In my case, it's nice and small. It should be fairly small because there's only one spread. 1.4 megabytes is perfect. It can fit in Miro, no problem. If it cannot fit in Miro, you could make it into a PNG or something else. That means when you go and export it, you can choose a JPEG or a PNG instead. But I think it shouldn't be no right here. You can say, I want it to be a PNG. You see that, or a JPEG. When you do file export, instead of choosing PDF, you can choose this. I would turn in the PDF anyway, because that's all beautifully, you know, was supposed to be vector, stayed vector. But if that PDF, instead of being 1.4 megabytes, is 5 megabytes, you can also say, okay, I'm going to also do it as a JPEG or a PNG, as I said. That means it's going to turn out to be less quality. But that's okay. I'm going to put it on the desktop as a JPEG and say save. And say export. Sorry. Oh, wait. It's doing range. I need to really say 41 to 41, or it's going to export the whole document. And make sure you say spread. Obviously, the spreads are really important. When you export, you say spread. And then I'm going to say export. So now when I minimize this, I should see, I'm going to minimize it. My JPEG right here, sorry, it's so crowded in here. Let me see how big is the JPEG compared to the PDF. Oh my God, it's tiny, 385 KB. So now I would be turning into Enrica the zip folder that is the stuff that the InDesign packaged folder, the PDF, and the JPEG, so she can put it on Miro. Life is glorious. Couldn't be any better than that. Is that good? You guys got a good directions of what to do? Any questions?
I remember you mentioned at the beginning of the project that we would have to hand in like the Illustrator file as well. I was wondering if that's still.
No, that the Illustrator file, if you placed it into InDesign, when you do the packaging, it will copy it as one of the links.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
Good thinker though. I really appreciate you always think. Your brain is always spinning. I love that to watch you guys think. You know, being engaged so well. Thank you. I appreciate it. I'm going to stop the screen sharing, and I'm going to stop the recording, and I will post it. I'll actually send it to everyone, in fact, as in an email. So that will be should be easy to turn things in tomorrow.